The event that I will be sharing with you today relates to the worst mass shooting in American history, known as the 32nd floor Las Vegas shooting, where a man by the name of Stephen Paddock opened fire on a crowd of over 22,000 people from his Mandalay Bay hotel suite, killing 58 and injuring more than 800 at a country music festival in the Las Vegas Strip. It was later found out from the FBI that they could not find a legitimate motive to why Paddock would commit this mass murder, being that he had committed suicide in his suite after he'd finished the act. The FBI did extensive research on whatever they could find about Paddock and found that his father was on the FBI's top 10 list in 1969 and that he had been planning this Las Vegas attack a year before he was able to execute. What was interesting about this case was that the FBI found no traces of manifesto or suicide notes, so the conclusion was made that Paddock simply executed the act because of his desire to die by suicide. When police were brought to the scene in Paddock's hotel room, 23 firearms were found scattered throughout his suite, and 19 more were confiscated from his home. It was stated that the shooting lasted for over 10 minutes with over 1,000 rounds of bullets pouring down from the 32nd floor of the Mandalay Bay Hotel Resort, with country music singer Jason Aldean performing that night at the festival. A victim by the name of Jake Owens was performing 50 feet from Aldean and stated that it got faster and faster, almost like it was an automatic rifle. The morning after this event occurred, Las Vegas was put on an immediate pause, with flights and performances canceled until the matter was resolved by law enforcement and other high-ranking government officials. The aftermath of the shooting not only had a tremendous impact on the Las Vegas population physically and mentally, but more importantly economically, as well as our entire nation as a whole. A new report released by Giffords Law Center to Prevent Gun Violence revisits the big economic cost of this shooting, which totaled just over $600 million. Because of this financial toll, businesses, residents, and victims continue to struggle because of this catastrophe that impacted so many lives across our nation. Now, being that Nevada is such a diverse state, many different gun protection bills were enacted, being that Nevada sits just above the national average with gun violence, which sits just over 14%. The most popular weapons that are used in mass shootings, according to the FBI, are assault rifles with high-capacity magazines are now very hard to purchase as a result of this mass shooting in Nevada. Now, even though a total of 7 states has in fact banned these types of firearms, Nevada hasn't come to that decision yet, but they are still very hard to come by as of today. A study in 2017 showed that firearms with high magazine capacities account for 22 to 36% of guns recovered in connection to any gun-related crime. To conclude, this shooting will forever be in the minds of those that were exposed to this unfortunate event and the families that lost loved ones due to the violence that had taken place. The Las Vegas shooting is still very well remembered in today's society because of the horrors that opened so many eyes across our nation. There's a dedicated memorial to those that lost their lives right on the Strip across from the Mandalay Bay Hotel. This topic was a very interesting story that I took the time to research and get a lot of valuable information from, and I hope that you were able to get a better detailed insight to why this event was so important in our nation's history. Thank you again for taking the time to watch this presentation, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you.